so easy.
Olivia Dean's neo-soul hit So Easy from 2025 blends a cool, relaxing Brazilian bossa nova groove with gentle touches of Herb Alpert's Tijuana brass from the 1960s. There's some secret sauce in the harmony. Let's discover it.
It's my fancy sauce.
In the chorus, there are dissonant chromatic chords which expand and intensify the progression, driving it forward. These tension-filled chords cause their resolutions to sound more satisfying, like the feeling of resting your body after a particularly rigorous workout. They're called secondary diminished sevenths and are built upon secondary leading tones. Let's listen to the chorus of the song in C major and focus on the first chord.
'Cause I make it so easy to fall in love.
To unpack its meaning, let's examine the A harmonic minor scale relative to C major. It differs from the natural minor only by virtue of its raised 7th degree, forming the leading tone, G sharp. Let's build a 7th chord with the leading tone as its root. The chord's quality is fully diminished 7th, a diatonic chord made up entirely of minor third intervals. The minor third is exactly 25% of an octave, thus, the diminished 7th chord symmetrically partitions the octave into quarters. The interval between the root and the 5th is a diminished 5th, tritone, and between the root and the 7th is a diminished 7th, thus the term fully diminished or diminished 7th. Another tritone, yes, another diminished 5th is present between the 3rd and the 7th. No wonder the chord sounds so highly dissonant and unstable.
That effect.
The Roman numeral is 7 diminished 7 and may be best described as a primary leading tone diminished 7th. In this key, the pop symbol is G sharp diminished 7th. The primary 7/7 serves the same purpose as the primary 5/7.
Which is?
Resolve to the tonic.
Of course.
In 4-voice SATB, we can see and hear how this chord resolves to a root position tonic triad. The upper 3 voices, being tendency tones, resolve down by step, while the bass, the leading tone, resolves up by semitone. Notice that 7/7 differs from 5/6/5 by only one note. No wonder 7/7 is often referred to in textbooks as a dominant substitute. Now, if you're able to construct a primary leading tone diminished 7th,
I can.
you can certainly construct a secondary leading tone diminished 7th.
You can do it!
That would be a 7/7 of X.
Let's establish a step-by-step procedure.
Then reveal how the chord is used in So Easy.
And finally engage in some practice exercises.
In the key of C major, let's write a root position 2 chord. If we draw a big box around this chord for a moment in order to transport us away from the home key of C major to the supertonic key of D minor, and change the key signature to 1 flat, we would call the chord a minor 1, tonic triad. Now, to construct the 7/7 in this secondary key, we must find the leading tone, which is a minor 2nd, half step below this secondary tonic, that is C sharp. This note is the root. Then we must superimpose 3 minor thirds upon this root, yielding the notes E, G, and B flat, a fully diminished 7th. Finally, when we remove the box and key signature change, returning to our home key,
There's no place like home.
we see that C sharp is not the primary leading tone, but a secondary leading tone, borrowed from the key of D minor. As far as analysis is concerned, we're left with a decision. We know that D minor is a 2, but what do we call C sharp diminished 7th? A raised tonic diminished 7th?
Don't know about that.
But this doesn't reveal its leading tone relationship to 2. More logically, we call it 7/7 of 2.
That's better.
Alternatively, we can use a kind of bracket notation to reveal this brief tonicization of 2. Going back to the song, we can now understand how to analyze the progression at the chorus.
'Cause I make it so easy to fall in love.
Now it's your turn.
Here are 3 practice exercises. The soprano voice has been provided. The examples are in root position, first inversion and second inversion. Feel free to pause the video, and then I'll work out the exercises so you can see the answers.
Working backwardly, we'll double the root of the 4, a primary triad in root position. The leading tone of B flat is A, and on this A, we must build a diminished 7th. The tonic triad is in first inversion. We'll double the soprano voice. The rearticulated common tones can be combined into a single rhythmic value. Again, working backwardly, we will flesh out the dominant triad in root position with doubled root. The leading tone of B is a sharp. Thus, we must build a chord of all minor thirds upon this root. Then the third C sharp should be placed in the bass voice. Lastly, we will double the soprano voice of the 5/6 in first inversion. The subdominant triad in G minor is C minor, which in first inversion has the third in the bass, E flat. We'll double the soprano. The leading tone in C minor is B natural, upon which we will build a diminished 7th in second inversion, with the 5th in the bass. Lastly, we will double the root of the tonic triad, being that it is in root position, and combine the rearticulated common tones into one duration.
I hope I've earned your like and subscription. Would you leave me a comment if you found this to be helpful? See you in the next video.